remind you something that people usually not pay attention to that. We celebrate that Hashem took us out from Egypt. And we are very grateful to him for that, and delighted for that. But not always we pay attention who put us in Egypt. Also Hashem. We talked about that last time?
Yes.
And did we talk about the birth in Pesach? Birth, no. Okay. Birth on Pesach, it's built like Chazal said that our the way how we get into Egypt and what we did there and how we went out of Egypt, it's very look like of giving birth. They said that it's like I don't know how to say, it's like a sperm got into womb, an egg.
In the womb, egg. Fertilized.
Yes, and it make it embryon.
Fertilized.
Fertilize, is it?
Fertilized.
Fertilize. Yeah. That's the way how Jews came into Egypt. It was Joseph, he was the first that went there, and he immediately became like the main organ in this body, like Egypt. And I don't know how you translate how the translator they translate the word of Joseph, but there is you remember when brothers of Joseph they came to Egypt, and he said to them, "You are spies." You remember? And he says, "You are spies. You came here to figure out." And I don't know how to translate it in English, but it's in Hebrew. It say, "Ervata aretz lirot batem." This is the verse in Hebrew, in Torah. "Ervata aretz lirot batem."
The beauty of the land.
What? How say?
The beauty. Lareb is to sweeten. It's a weakness, though.
Yes, they translate usually the weakness of Egypt. That's what they usually translate. But literally, it's he says to them, you came here to see
To subvert.
how say?
Subvert.
Subvert?
Subvert. כאילו לחטוא.
No. I'll tell. This woman sexual how call it in
מה?
woman?
מה, נו. האיברים שלה?
כן.
הווג'יינה?
כן, vagina. That's what it's written. You came here to see vagina of Egypt.
Okay.
Yes, that's what it's written.
Evat?
So the nakedness of the land,
Vagina of the earth. And Chazal says that was Egypt. That's how they defined Egypt as a vagina of the earth.
the womb of the Jewish people.
Pardon?
It's the Mitzrayim is the womb.
Exactly, it's a womb of Jewish people. We were born not in Israel, in Egypt, as a nation. And it's written that Chazal says in I'll tell you even exactly in which place, because I know that what I'm telling you, it's sometimes it seems very, very unexpected. So I have to give you sources where I have where from I know that and where from I take this. It's not my ideas or my associations. That's what Chazal says. It's not my opinion. They said that Joseph, it was a sperm that came into the vagina. And where it's written in Midrash Rabba, Bereshit, Parashat Tzadi Gimel, Piska Hey. כלומר, it's in Midrash Rabba, it was translated in English, as I know. Midrash Rabba was translated in English, Midrash Rabba, the chapter 93 and paragraph 5. So it's written. I'll give you even, I can read you in Hebrew. כי דרכתי לי יהודה קשת במושך הזרע, זה יוסף שמשך זרעו של אביו והורידו למצרים. That is exact translation. כי דרכתי לי יהודה קשת במושך הזרע, זרע, מושך, he pulled the sperm. זה יוסף, he was like a spermatozoid that goes like this. שמשך זרעו של אביו והורידו למצרים. And he put a sperm of Israel and went into Egypt. And as this small embryo became immediately grow up, that's what happened to Joseph. First of all, he became the main, as I say, main organ of this body, Egypt. And exactly when woman, she became pregnant, she immediately became, all her body feel that. And after a few short time, she started whamming. You say wham?
Vomiting. Lucky?
Mm-hmm.
Vomit.
Vomit, and her head and all dizzy. Became dizzy. So that's what happened to Egypt. They felt immediately this small guy, Joseph, became a great deputy of Pharaoh. And he started to grow up. He get married, he has 2 children, and then he came 10 brothers, and then 70 people from his family, and they became more and more very quickly, and they feel that it's like a strange body in there, in Egypt. So, and when they became very, very big population, they start contraction. 10 contraction, 10 mitmakot, 10 plagues of Egypt, it was contraction. That's what say Sefer Arvei Nachal, Parashat Ekev. אף על פי כן עדיין היו במצרים בבחינת עובר במעי אמו. They were like an embryo in Egypt in the womb of their mother. ויציאת מצרים היה כמו לידה. And exile from Egypt, it was like a giving birth. ולכן היה במצרים כל המכות ההם. And then that's why they have all those 10 plagues, you say? Plagues. כי היה להם חבלי לידה. Because they have contraction of giving birth. כאישה בעת יציאת העובר ממנה, שיש לה חבלים. וצעקתה נשמע, and like a woman that she has, that she, when the child come out from here, and she start to scream, and it's written about Egypt, that they scream when in 10th plague. נשמע כמו שאמרו רז"ל, כך הייתה צעקה גדולה במצרים, כי היה להם חבלי לידה. It was, they say it was exactly like the same thing. And a lot of other details. For example, when giving birth, they start blood got out from womb. So river of Egypt became blood. That and there are a lot others like parallels and analogs between that and that. Analogies. Thank you. Analogies. And also, I can. I'll tell you another few details. For example, when the water was out, like it opened water, people usually imagine themselves when they talk about the miracle of opening a sea, Red Sea. They imagine themselves like it's written, like they draw in the pictures. It was like this, right? That's how it's usually described. Chazal said that they were tunnels. It's also a child when he come out of woman, he go through tunnel. It wasn't like this. It's open, but like this. And child start immediately, and also except of child start immediately cry because he has water. It was sorrow water, sour water, and also water of child of embryo, like a child when is born, he has a taste of water in mother's stomach, and a mother immediately give him milk to drink milk. So it's written in Torah that that man that come out, it was breast. It's written breast, leshad hashamen. Leshad hashamen, shad, it's breast. It's also, it's written in Gemara. What I said now, it's written in Gemara, Masechet Yoma, in page 875. That mother give milk, and milk was man, and man is shad, and all that, all, everything is written. So why Chazal wanted to teach us this idea? Now, I mean, before you've heard this lesson now, you didn't think about, right? You didn't make this analogy. So why they do that? Why they tell us those things? I think they want to teach us very great idea, very, very important thing. They want to teach us that all the world was created according to the same model. There is a model how the world created. Plants, they start growing the same model. It was like a seed that very close, and in order to grow, the seed has to be open, and the plants start to grow up from inside, and also all the world, the earth, and all the reality, all universe was created the same, according to the same model. It was something small seed that was explosion and became being all the places like this, that what we call Big Bang. Chazal, before they thought about Big Bang, about just 100 years ago, they have this theory about Big Bang. Chazal said that idea 2,000 years ago, that creation of the world, it was from small thing, they call it Even Shtia, that became, grow in all directions, and like this, and that, in this way they start, the reality start, this world, universe start develop and disperse and expanding, yeah, exactly. And Chazal said that it was look like giving birth. I want to read it for you, that you should... Creation. All creation, the world. It was like a birth. I will read it to you. It's written, what I told you now, it's written in Midrash Tanchuma. I think also Midrash Tanchuma was translated to English. Parashat Pkudei, and in chapter 3. It's written like this. כשברא הקדוש ברוך הוא את עולמו, כילוד אישה בראו. When Hashem created the world, he created it as a woman giving birth. מה ילוד אישה? מתחיל בטבורו ומותח לכאן ולכאן. As a embryon became, it starts from the middle of stomach, and start to grow up in all directions. ומותח לכאן ולכאן. מותח is like what you said, expanding in all direction. לכאן ולכאן. לארבע צדדים. כן התחיל הקדוש ברוך הוא לברוא את העולם. In this way, Hashem start to create all the world. מאבן שתייה, תחילה, וממנה הושתת עולם. ויצירת הוולד, and the creation of embryon, כיצירת העולם. It's parallel to creation of all the world. כנגד יצירת הוולד במעי אמו. That is written. So, what we learn from that? What it tells us? Now we have very unexpected approach and unexpected facts. We see this is a fact that Chazal said that it look like, and it's so the same model. What we learn from that? That is the question. The thing is that we understand from that that the idea of getting out of Egypt, it's not an event that happened 3,334 years ago. It's a process that all the world goes through this process. It was also an event like this, and I will tell you some now. What happened in 15 of Nisan, 3,334 years ago. But we have to be aware, to realize that it's that is not get out of Egypt. That is not Yetziat Mitzrayim. It's not something what happened in Egypt. It's something else. You've heard this expression, Yetziat Mitzrayim, in Hebrew? Yetziat Mitzrayim? What does it mean, Mitzrayim? I told you in the last lesson. Mitzrayim, it's, if you translate literally, it's coming from out of border. Mitzrayim, it's not Egypt. Egypt, it's some geographical place that today Arabs live there, but it was Egypt. But we went out not from Egypt, we went out from Mitzrayim.
This narrow straits, this narrow...
Yes. What we celebrate in Pesach, it's a liberation or liberation from borders, not from Egypt. That is process that starts from beginning of the world and go through all history of humanity until the end. And each of us go through the same process. Not only that we were born like this, like we said before, like physically or anatomical process that we pass through. No, but also spiritual idea. We in spiritual way we are born through our life. You understand? It's like as more when you think about yourself. When you were born, you say, "Oh, I know, 34 years ago in 6th July." Okay, but really, it wasn't you who was born. It's your body. You don't remember. You weren't your who you call today, myself, me. When you your identity. It's not with this body that was born 34 years ago. You identified yourself today with your personality. Your personality wasn't born then. Your personality became more and more and more. It's a process that your personality became more and more exist, more pure, more good, more righteous, more good, more deeper, clever, and then all your life you're going and you revealed yourself. This is process. It's not a date. The same all the world and the same Jewish people. And that's why, in order to teach us that this is the process and not an event, Chazal wanted to teach us that Avraham Avinu, he celebrate Pesach. You've heard about that already. You know that Avraham Avinu celebrate, and Yitzchak Avinu celebrate Pesach, and Rashi says that it's very known fact. What kind of Pesach he can celebrate 400 years before we went out of Egypt, and also in Rosh Hashanah. Rosh Hashanah is the day of creation of the world, right? And in Rosh Hashanah, we said, this day, it's a memory of coming out from Egypt.
Rosh Hashanah?
Rosh Hashanah. I'll tell you, I'll read you this expression. It's written like this. ותיתן לנו השם אלוקינו באהבה את יום הזיכרון הזה, יום תרועה, מקרא קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים. It's what we pray in Rosh Hashanah. How Rosh Hashanah can be a memory of our getting out from Egypt, of Exodus. It's impossible. So it means that Exodus didn't start in 15 of Nisan. Exodus, it's a process that all reality. Now,
So it's creation. Exodus
yes,
is creation.
Exodus is a creation, exactly. Now, what's the conclusion of all that? If you understand this, I have some student that he told me, you know, I'm not reading Agadat Pesach to my children. I say, why? Because he said, because in Agadat Pesach it's not written about Yetziat Mitzrayim. Almost nothing written there. Oh, really? Why? He says, pay attention. It's written about Terach, Avi Avraham, Terach, it's mentioned there, and also Lavan, it's mentioned there, and also Rabbi Akiva in Bnei Brak, and 4 others, rabbis that they came, and Chad Gadya about some goat, and all kind of things that they not belong to Pesach. So instead of that, what I'm doing, I'm taking a book of Shmot, Exodus. I open when Jews, those verses from Torah, when it's written how they went into Egypt, how they were became slave, how Hashem sent Moshe Rabbeinu, and then what 10 plagues, and after that it was open of sea, and Jews went out. That's what I tell to my children. And I told him that he didn't understand the essence of Agadat Pesach and essence of this festival, this Pesach. He celebrate historical event like in America. They celebrate something what happened in 4th July 1776. Or like in French Revolution, 14 July 1789. They celebrate some dates, that something that happened then in past. But we celebrate present. Present. It's always present. Present continues. All the time it's continue this process of getting out. And that's why Chazal wrote Agadah in this way, that it's telling us about Terach and Avram Avinu. Why? How it's connected? It's in order to teach us that Avram Avinu, he went out of Egypt, not of Egypt, out of Mitzrayim, that called Ur Kasdim, from Bavel. And Lavan, it's because tell us that Yaakov Avinu, he went out of Egypt, that called Padam Aram of Lavan. And Rabbi Akiva, he went out from Mitzrayim, that calls Romans. And he prepare the revolt against of Romans. Mered Bar Kochva, it's revolt of Bar Kochva. He planned with other rabbis revolt against of Romans, and that was their exile. That it was their exodus.
The revolt was the Exodus?
Yes, it's the same time. This is what's written. They were in Bnei Brak, and they start, and that's why student they came to tell to Rabbi Akiva that already now he can say Kriyat Shema. You remember? Rabotenu הגיע הזמן קריאת שמע. That's what they said. Why he don't know himself? Why he needed some student will tell to Rabbi that he can say Kriyat Shema. He doesn't see? No, he doesn't see, because they are in a cave. They hiding in Bnei Brak. And why student they not sit with their rabbis? Because they are guards, they are soldiers. They guard from outside against the Romans. And that is their exile. All Agadat Pesach tried to teach us that you should identify yourself with those that they went out of Egypt. It's written, "B'chol dor vador chayav adam lemor lirot et atzmo ki'ilu hu yatsa miMitzrayim." In each generation, everybody has to see himself as he personally went out of Egypt. That it's written. But it's written. It's one expression from Gemara, from Agadah. You have to see yourself as you get out, as if you went out of Egypt. But another expression in Agadah, it's written not as if, it's written you or myself went out of Egypt. Betziti mi'eretz Mitzrayim.
When?
Yeah, betziti, when I went out from Egypt. So you are lying to your child. You say that you went out of Egypt? No. You have to be aware of the fact that we are in process, like giving birth, like growing up, like all our life. It's a process that we became be more and more ourselves. And that is real freedom, that you are yourself. This is real liberation, that you went out of how you start and what you go, and you're part of all this process. And now, what's your contribution to this process? And you, when you came here in Israel, you can say it not as if I went out. I went out. Chag Sameach.